Well, most of you are probably aware that we are putting together a gift store slash museum right across the street from my shop here. I showed you some of the process of my remodeling that building last summer, and we got to Thanksgiving and was able to open up about 3/4 of that building. Well, I've spent the last several weeks finishing up the back part of that building. And if you remember, part of that display is the machinery from Rick Bischoff's luminary shop. I also have some lamps that I would like to display that he has part of his collection. And I'm also going to put this wheel over there. This was the rear wheel of the borax wagon, if you watch that process. And after that project was done, I was contacted about making one of these as a duplicate for a chandelier back in West Virginia. Well, when I did that, I built this wheel just for my own personal purposes of having it on display here in the shop. So many of you have come through the last couple summers and have been able to stand by this wheel and take pictures and visit about that borax project. Well, I want to take this wheel and put it over in that museum so it will be a little more accessible to the public, and the history of building that borax wagon, the set of wagons, here in 2016 when I built the two main wagons, and then the winter of 2018-19 I built the water wagon. So that is the first time these wagons have been duplicated since 1880. And so it's significant to this small town of Joliet here. So anyway, like I already said, I want to take this wheel and put it over in that museum. Well, it is over 1,000 pounds, so I have to be kind of careful rolling it around. I want to get it to the doorway between the two halves of my shop, and then I can pick it up with the forklift and run it over to the museum. So this is where this wheel is going to live from now on, as far as I can tell. So when you come visit the shop, it won't be over there anymore, but it'll be across the street in the museum. And it's right next door to the Smith Manufacturing manure spreader that we built about a year ago. And I do think that I have shown this in previous videos, so you all know it is here as well. And I'm also going to include some of Rick's carriage lamps that are from his collection over all the years and when he was in the carriage lamp restoration business. We have some of his equipment set up in this corner, and on the walls surrounding here is where I hope to display some of his carriage lamps. These are just a number of the lamps that he had in his collection. They aren't lamps that he restored, but they are lamps that he has picked up that are restorable. Some of them are singles and some of them are pairs. Some of them are from the pony size to carriages to stagecoaches to Brewster, like road coach type stuff. And we also have a box here that is all from the automobile industry. Some of them are stamped Ford and some of them are a little more plain. We have some here that are maybe more from the railroad industry. So my goal is to sort through these and put some of these in that corner. And I suppose many of you have watched the videos that he put up as the Luminary Shop here on YouTube as well. But his shop was at his home, so it wasn't really compatible to having a lot of public at your business when it's in your home. So a lot of these lamps were not on display for public use. So when he agreed that we could put these in this museum, it actually puts a collection of lamps in the public venue that had not been so before. So this is in a realm that I am not familiar with. I am really out of my realm, kind of like a duck out of water. Rick knows this stuff, and he's going to come in and help me sort through some of this stuff as well. But for right now, I just need to figure out what kind of mounting brackets it's going to take to mount some of these lamps on that wall around all his equipment. There's a couple different styles of posts. Some of these have rings that are carried onto this tail. So I've got to figure some of that stuff out. How do I mount these? A lot of these lighter lamps mount on a post or pedestal like these with a little set screw that keeps them on the post. Now these had to be fastened fairly securely when they were actually on the carriage vehicle and being driven so that they didn't bounce off. It's not quite so big a deal here, but this is kind of what I'm thinking. I'm going to mount these to those cedar boards that I have on my wall and mount them about like so. Some of these, like this little pony lamp, has a different style of mount. I need some type of a flat bracket. So it's just part of the process of going through and seeing what do I need to get these on display. These big heavy Brewster lamps, they have a mounting bracket that takes quite a little bit heavier posts, so I'm going to have to maybe fabricate something for those. But that's just what I need to go through and see what all we have. I don't know the history of these lamps. I don't know the makers of these lamps. Rick has taken the time to put little slips of paper in a lot of these to show what they were. Like this one here, he has a Jobert and White, Natural Finish Series and buckboards. And it looks like it has the same type of mount as some of these regular carriage mounts. So first thing is to find out how many mounts we need and what styles of mounts, whether they are the smaller ones or the heavier ones. We also have some automotive lamps here that might take a little deeper bend mount. Yes, several of these that have Ford that are stamped up on the top of the lamps. And it looks like maybe they might take a similar mount. That one is frozen. Yeah, that one looks like it's workable. So something like so maybe. We also have some that look like they're all brass. Maybe they just were restored and never painted. Like I say, I am not the authority on lamps by any shot or any stretch of the imagination. I'm just going to put these on display. There are a couple here that have their own mounting bracket already installed. Pretty ornate, really interesting. A double mounting bracket. So just browsing through some of these quickly, some of these larger lamps takes a 3/4 inch post. Some of the mid-sized ones takes a 5/8 post, and it looks like these lighter carriage lamps take more of a 1/2 inch post. So looks like I go into the post building business. Well, this is about half the number of lamps that he has that we can put on display. There's 2 more pair that go here, and this will be a couple dozen, and I have easily that or more that's going to go across this front wall. So I've still got to do that, but this gives you a flavor of what my goal has been to commemorate the years that Rick was here doing lamp restorations. These 2 lamps right next to his name, the Luminary Shop, are the style of lamp that he literally built thousands of. Very popular lamp for light carriages, runabouts, doctor's buggies, that type of deal. So this is where we're headed. So Kathy is going to have an open house for this store museum over Memorial Day. If you happen to be in the area, you're welcome to stop by. But if you're traveling through the summer, we do encourage you to stop both here and at the shop as well. This is going to be evolving yet, so what you see today will be different actually when you get a chance to stop by. So this is the store/museum in Joliet. Appreciate you coming along. Thanks for watching.